Hi guys, welcome to episode 6 of We Built a Gym. So today we are talking about regrets, and we're going to be talking about our biggest ones. So we're going to try and split it, sort of personal and professional, just to try and get an insight into both really. So Luke, what's your personal biggest regret?
I've got to be careful because the key to this is obviously being honest, but not offending anyone.
Not too honest. Yeah.
And being too honest and giving names might get me in a bit of trouble. So my personal regret, when I was thinking about it on the way in, probably is turning my hobby into a job. So training was my hobby. You obviously used to finish work, look forward to going to train, 4 or 5 times a week, really enjoyed that process. I was never someone that kind of focused on training to the point where it made me, have like kind of fits of rage if something didn't go right. It was just something.
Just like stress release, something to go do.
Pure enjoyment.
Yeah.
Pure enjoyment. A bit of time for yourself. Headphones in. Anyone that
Ignore everyone.
Ignore everyone.
Angry face on, hood up.
Not angry face on and hood up. I don't look good with a hood up. But and actually my face is always angry.
Yeah.
But it was that kind of thing where I wasn't the person that talked to everyone. I just went in, headphones in, and just got my shit
Crack
done.
on with your own thing. Yeah, I guess if you've had to, obviously you used to teach, didn't you? So if you've been teaching all day and giving out your energy, the last thing you want to do is go into the gym and like talk to everyone. So.
Yeah, like when you literally as a teacher, you talk all day and talk through so much stuff, like from little things like, she said I can't come to her birthday party. And you're like, who cares? You don't even want to go.
You don't want to start correcting people's grammar in the gym as well.
Yeah.
Put your weights back.
So turning my hobby into a job is my biggest kind of personal regret about it all because as morose as it sounds, I don't have that hobby anymore.
Yes.
And when I do try and train, I often get distracted by like the smallest thing, like there being a weight plate wrong somewhere.
But you're a gym owner, you have loads of time to train.
Yeah, I have loads of time.
There's genuine people think, well, you own your own gym, so your training's going to go through the roof.
All you do is train.
No.
When actually it's the opposite.
No.
I kind of opened the gym in like decent enough nick and just really quickly through not training for like a year just descended into like emotional eating and like
Weighty Wednesdays became a thing.
Weighty Wednesday is when we order Domino's and we put on weight. It's a big day. Texas barbecue if you're wondering. Turning my hobby into a job was it was inevitable because
of course so
it's going to have happened. It definitely affected my mood and my kind of feeling about, what's my hobby now? Because I'd stopped playing lacrosse after doing my ACL, and the gym kind of took that place. And then you're like, who am I?
Kind of flipped it on its head, didn't you? So literally from what was purely a hobby as now fully is your job, you know what I mean? So like a full upside down twist.
Yes. And I'm kind of man enough to say that I definitely struggled with that and had periods when I would try and train and then I'm training at 2:00. I'm going to train at 2:00 and then something would come up and it'd be like 5 to 3. And then I would think about, I'm coaching at 5. I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
I don't have enough time. And then that would affect my mood. And funnily enough, going from someone who was never emotional about training ever, it didn't matter to me if I had numbers in my head and I couldn't quite hit them. I could drop the weight, up the reps, whatever it was, and still enjoy my session. I then became someone that got quite emotional about it and would just get like bummed out about not being able to do that. And that's my personal one. I'm sure loads of people can attest to that. I'm sure loads of gym owners can attest to that, and loads of people that want to own a gym should consider that.
Yeah, I guess that's always going to happen if you go and put 100% into something. Your hobbies are going to get pushed to the side, pretty much whatever they are, but especially in a situation like this. Mine's a bit different. I would say that
Give us some gossip about your girlfriend.
No way. Personal regret. Well, no. Let's not go down that
But when
route.
she...
Yeah, that's it. Oh, the microphone broke. So I would say mine's slightly different in terms of sort of personal regret. It would probably be lacking, like being able to control that work-life balance. Probably more so when I started, like in all the coaching stuff, coaching PT, and like coaching in person and online. just not being able to separate myself from work and actually sort of trying to have a life. Like when you're putting, like we said with yours, like when you're putting 100% into your clients and trying to give them all your efforts and energy, because you have to in this kind of industry. You can't turn up and be like, you know, like whatever, like counting reps or just
like
not paying attention.
A PT who, like, the client rocks up and they're like, what are we doing today? And the PT's like, what do you want to do today?
Yeah. No, obviously, like, yeah, exactly. It's just that sort of that kind of thing where you can't go into it half-hearted, you know. So, and once you've given up all your energy to all your clients or whatever, and you're working with people online and in person, and there's people on your phone, and you know you want to be able to spread that value equally. Again, your training, your life gets affected, and things get in the way. Like I remember there was the time where when I was doing powerlifting and competing quite regularly in it, and everything was going super smooth, like I was making like pure linear progression, and you know just numbers were going up, and it was great. And like I was like, wow, this is great. I'm managing to balance everything perfectly. My coaching's going well, my training's fine, like everyth's smooth sailing. If only I'd known that would come crashing down, because you can't maintain that 100% effort all the time, you know, which is something I didn't realize. I was like, well, why can't you, you know? But so I've definitely got better at being able to split that work-life balance, you know, sometimes probably swaying more to one than the other, but I think that's the way of it, isn't it, you know?
It's hard because, again, like semi-deep, but we live in a culture that glorifies being busy.
Yeah.
We live in a culture where everyone wants to brag about just how busy they are, just how much work they've got on.
Yeah,
and
that's why there's all those jokes now, 24/7 grind, hustle, man.
Yeah, like,
you know,
oh yeah, I spend 18 hours a day at this laptop. You know,
Yeah.
like
entrepreneurs get up at 4 a.m. and eat their wolves for lions and sheep. Like, what are you even talking about? You know?
and just loads of mixed metaphors about animals.
Yeah, like pretty much.
That is very hard. And what you do, I imagine, your phone's always going off.
Yeah, you know, which I love. Like I love having that communication, that contact with all my clients and like with everyone I work with. And obviously the world of social media is like, that's like a whole separate subject. But, and I think a lot of people can relate to me in saying it, in that turning off from that and switching off can be quite difficult, you know, and it's not a case of like, I want to switch off, but it's a case of like having to.
You need to, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, you know, things start to get affected. Like I found that, you know, I ended up not going to see like my parents, and I wasn't making as much time for my grandparents and stuff like that. And you know, that's not good. And I think back to that, and I'm like, oh, I probably should have gone to that, you know, family meal or whatever it was, instead of prioritizing like having to get all my work in or whatever. You know, just take a chill day. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you're a person too, and if you want to give the best to your client, you know, I always used to judge other people saying that.
Yeah.
Being like, well, why are you doing that? But I can see why there needs to be that balance. But that doesn't mean, you know, do a couple of days of like hard coaching and PT or whatever, and then go off to some remote island for a month and turn your phone off. I'm not saying that, but there's a fine balance, isn't there?
And I think that the problem with working with people is that they obviously have their own expectations of you and what they want, and your clients aren't all going to run on this uniform system. Someone is going to want to finish their week early, going to start their next week late, or whatever, you know.
It's individualized, isn't it?
So they want a response to their message now. Like I'm like that. If I send an email, if I get no response for 5 minutes, I think, where the hell's my reply?
Yeah.
What are you
that's
doing?
it. That's our world now. Someone said it the other day to me. They were like, the world just moves so quick now. Like everything's designed to be quick. If it's not, people get annoyed. You know, like when I came here in like a co-op, and there's a queue of like 3 people, and you can hear like I've been waiting 30 seconds, and I can hear tutting behind me. Oh God,
come on. Are they like me in a co-op? If I get into a queue and I see other people in the queue, I'm like, why don't you do your shop in Tesco, mate? Why have you got a trolley in co-op? What are you buying in co-op?
Yeah, legit.
And there's me just there with like
a diet.
all the crisps and Diet Coke I can find.
For Weighty Wednesday. Yeah, exactly. Like everything's designed to be quick, isn't it? Like checkout systems, self-scan, you know, contactless, everything. So there's definitely that sort of expectation to be, you know, on the go 100% all the time, like a robot. But yeah.
When I was teaching, I did some like some training basically, and we had this amazing doctor come in to talk about brain patterns and all of that. It was mainly to do with autism, like ASD, but she was talking about phones and how like your phone going off essentially sparks a light in your brain which gives you almost dopamine.
Yeah,
and
I've
you
heard that
become
as well.
addicted to that process. And like I'm like that. Oh, Instagram notification, better answer it.
Yeah.
And it'll be just someone like liking a post or whatever, you know. And that's hard.
It is, yeah. You constant on, and that's why all the apps are blue as well, because blue blocks melatonin or something.
Oh,
so
really?
you're constantly basically promoting function in your brain, like cognitive function. So, you know, it wears you out. But
I don't want to be like, woe is me, woe is us.
that's what I mean. We don't want to be like, you know, don't message me, because that's the whole point of the service. But for me, that I do regret not getting that work-life balance at the start, and just trying to go all in and 100%. You know, and trying to follow the crowd and being like, go to work to earn money, go to work to stay on top. It's like, yes, but you know, you can only work so much. You can only work to your capacity, otherwise you just burn out.
And actually, you wouldn't give people value. Do you know what
Exactly.
I mean? If you were drained and battered, and that's the problem. Is so many people, want to put on Instagram some motivational quote about, you know, like you said, getting up and eating your wolves for lions for sheep or whatever.
Work.
Just work. I love what I do. This is a blessing. Yeah, you don't need to run your mouth like that. Just like chill out, leave it be.
do it. Yeah.
No one's reading that and really taking positivity from it. They're either doubting you, I think, or thinking, mate, take a day.
Have a day off. Yeah.
Have a day off, mate. Like,
Well, it's the same thing as training, isn't it? You go in, you get your like dose of training in, and that's like the optimal and effective dose, rather than going to absolutely plow your body into the ground doing hours and hours. You know, you go in, you smash it out, rest, recover, repeat. You know, it's a similar thing with work, obviously, just probably a few more hours.
I bet those people that post those 16 hours a day are the kind of people that post their training videos but only post the good ones.
Yeah, definitely.
They only post. They're not like
Only
you.
post the highlights.
They're not like you posting videos of you getting crushed
By an axle bar.
by an axle bar, which we should try and get in the video. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, let's put it here.
What? That?
So that was Ben getting crushed by the axle bar. Little known fact, I was slightly out of shot. I was about half a metre away, and I went in to save him and rescue his life, but I knew that it would ruin the shot, and you've always got to think
Rushing
about the
to my
ground.
aid.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Oh no! We need a new coach.
Oh no, this is hilarious. Yeah. Speaking of coach, that's quite a professional thing, isn't it? So let's move into our professional regrets as well.
Okay.
I feel like that started to blend in, like personal and professional, but
Yeah.
obviously for us and what we do, they're similar things anyway. So
Yeah.
what would you say yours is?
Who you are is what you do, essentially.
Basically.
My professional one, I think, it's hard because I think can come across as a bit of a sob story or whatever. I'm aware that my pride is tangled up, it's entangled in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, so
You've
like
said
when,
that in previous ones, haven't you? You've
when
said that.
when someone wants to criticize the gym, in my mind they're criticizing me.
You as well, yeah. 100%.
And being able to take a step back from that is sometimes hard, and I kind of am big enough and bad enough to know that not all of my character traits are positive.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm super honest, but that can be bad.
Maybe too honest.
Well, yeah, like
Something, isn't it?
I will often, if someone asks a question, I'll just give them an answer and then think maybe I shouldn't have told you that.
Apart from how much did the gym cost?
Yeah, lots of money.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've definitely had things before where, so as a gym owner, you get a lot of your money through direct debits, through members paying every month to come and train in your gym. Fair exchange of goods for money, you know.
Yep.
But every now and then you're going to get someone who tries to fiddle that system and tries to kind of train and then like cancel things and run away, and you end up kind of essentially pursuing debt collection procedures, which every gym will have in place, and different people have different policies.
No one wants to do that.
Yeah, like exactly, and it's horrible, but like I had an altercation once with a guy. It was over the phone and then over emails, where he basically said, I know that I owe you money, and I know that morally I should pay that money, but I'm not going to do it. And it basically, because of who I am, became my ego versus your ego. And we're going to go until I win, basically. And we went until I won. And, you know, and it became quite, you know, obsessive in my head about, like, how can I structure this argument so that I win, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
And that, like, when your pride is mixed up, I don't think you make the right decision all the time.
No, and that's very taxing as well.
Yes.
I think that comes into the whole personal thing too, you know.
Yeah, I definitely don't sleep as well as I used to. But yeah, like, my own character flaws, like, I like to think that part of our success is because of who I am and because of who Tim is. And I think that, well, I'm quite aware that if we have a crash and burn, it will probably be my fault. Because, you know, I'll just have not been thinking for a second, you know, I'll have got tangled up in something that I shouldn't have done. But yeah, I would say my professional flaw is who I am.
Yeah, which is a sad time. Mine, okay. I would say mine has sort of probably developed as well, like, because it is similar to a character flaw. Basically, I think within the coaching industry, especially because it's quite dog eat dog, isn't it? Realistically,
Yep.
You know, like the gym business industry, I wouldn't say it's on a ground level like that, you know, whereas coaching, you are literally like talking person to person, you know, rather than like business to business.
Yes.
So when you are having those interpersonal relationships and communications, you're gonna get times where you cross paths and like disagree with people, you know, not with the business, not with the franchise company, whatever, with an actual person.
Oh, you mean like a rival coach?
Exactly. So like,
Okay.
you know, rival coaches, like competitors, competition, whatever, you know, and I'm not saying it in like a horrible way, but my professional regret was probably thinking that everyone is my friend and that everyone likes me. If I'd learnt that earlier on, I reckon I would have been a lot less affected by some things and like decisions
What do you mean,
I made.
like people are fake?
Yeah, so, well, yeah, not fake as such, but like ultimately it's a business. So you've got to kind of sort of have those levels of like business, but then also, you know, the personal side of it. So, you know, not everyone is going to like you in a personal industry like this, you know, or in any industry really. Like you get it a lot in things like modeling, acting, you know, all those kind of things. Person to person, not everyone's going to like you. A lot of people are going to go behind your back. You know, there's going to be decisions that you make that come back to bite you in the arse, basically.
I think ultimately, from like my kind of view on it, is that people would go behind your back or another coach's back or whatever, essentially to undermine them and
for their benefit,
to hopefully supersede them and be like, oh well, yeah, he's awful, she's awful, like this is the beginning of their downfall, and then I'm going to get their clients. Do you know? Like this is my time.
Yeah, that's it. That's like one example. You know, it can go a whole lot worse. Like, you know, going behind your back and just sort of saying things to other people, putting ideas in people's minds, like trying to portray a different character to what's actually going on, and just all sorts of other stuff. It can get very muddled up. So I think that's definitely one of my biggest regrets, is that sort of thinking everyone's my friend, thinking everyone likes me. Like you're allowed to disagree with people. You know, you're meant to disagree with people. You're meant to be different from someone else. You know, thinking that it's like this whole team of coaches who will work together. Like it's not how things work.
You shouldn't be sat around all going like, yeah, the pendulum row is the perfect accessory movement.
That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Because someone's gonna be like, "No, it's not, you mug," you know, or worse. But I don't really want to say it. But yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that, and I think that's good to a certain extent. Like to a certain level, it like sparks debate and it like promotes discussion and it promotes growth in the industry, in the sports.
But to be able to have that in a professional way, without the need to It's almost
get
like
personal,
having a bit of
undermine.
integrity.
That's it. Yeah, mainly like having a bit of integrity.
Because you
not
do
having
have
to do all
friends
those
who are
extra
coaches.
things. Yeah, absolutely. Of course I do. And that's naturally going to happen, isn't it? Because I'm in the industry, and I have a lot of really good mates who are coaches. But it's fine to. And they know this as well. Like, we have opinions that are going to clash. Like, might not program in the same way, might not talk to a client in the same way, might not have operations and systems that go the same way, and that's cool. But it's basically about not being a snake. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it comes down to. Be reasonable in your approach. And I can't say I haven't
Don't
made
be a
some
snake.
mistakes. That's fine. Like, I've probably said things or like done things that I would probably that I do regret. In that whole topic. Sorry, it's like Salt Bay, Snake Bay, and that's the benefit of you being able to see us. We can do stupid stuff like that.
Snake Bay?
Yeah, Snake Bay.
Okay. So are you Snake Bay?
I would say so.
Are you the snake?
I'm King Snake. Yeah, a slippery little snake. Yeah, but it's just about not being a snake, isn't it? Having that level of integrity, and that level of respect, ultimately. And any coach who I'm on the same level with, or I look up to, or whatever, ultimately I have some respect for them, even if I completely disagree with them. Like, there are people in the industry that I completely disagree with, but I still like to keep up with what they do, and I respect what they do. So it comes down to
What
that.
if you don't? What if there's a coach who, you know what they do, whether it's professionally, through how they program, or maybe personally how they interact with clients, or how maybe they're Snake Bay,
King Snake Bay.
What if you don't agree?
It depends. If you're talking, if the situation arises and someone asks me for my recommendation on them, I'd either keep my mouth shut or say what I think, but be careful around that.
Two very conflicting answers.
Yeah, basically.
I'll
depending on
either-
the person, that's what I mean. It's
I'll
all
snake
about
them,
trust and respect.
Or I'll say nothing.
Yeah, literally. Just slide in there. Yeah, it's about the situation, really, isn't it? If someone's asking me what they think of that, then contextually I judge it there and then, depending on who it is, what kind of things they're saying and how it could come across or whatever.
I think it's weird because powerlifting, coaching and competing have this weird kind of dichotomy of community and help the community, be there to, you go and you ref, you go and plate load and spot and stuff like that for no gain of your own, just to help out because people have done it for you. But then it's also a very individual place where actually, no, I want them to come and be coached by me. And when you compete, for instance, everyone's like, oh yeah, I can't wait, that person's going to do so well.
Yeah.
But really, you're up against them. You shouldn't want them to do well, or you should want them to do well, but just a little bit less well than you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's it. And again, it's that balance of being secure enough in yourself to not, you don't want someone to go out there and break their leg.
Hold on.
Hold on. Maybe we do. I don't know about you. Let's not. That's probably how you led to your ACL injury, but let's not talk about that.
No, a goal.
Oh God.
I had already scored 3 goals in the game, and the goalkeeper dived through my knee as I went to score my 4th.
Literally threw it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's to that extent, isn't it? You do want someone to do. You want someone to be below you ultimately, but at the same time, it's being secure enough, in yourself to, if they do better than you, then you say fair play. You know what I mean? Again, it's that respect and integrity thing. You don't sit there and have a tantrum and get all weird, but people do, and that's the way the industry works. But as I said, that's my regret, because I wish I'd known that earlier, that not everyone's going to like you, and not everyone's going to respect what you do and all that kind of thing.
Maybe
not to get, have a thick skin to it, basically.
Yeah, not everyone's trustworthy. Not everyone's...
Yeah, of course not.
That's cool.
Just like any industry.
Well, I think that is our shortest episode ever.
Damn.
Episode 6. I think we got balls deep.
We got balls deep, yeah.
Yeah, balls deep. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, we'll see you next time, episode 7.
Bye. Guys.